Hey everyone, I wanted to share this alternate Battlemage build I've been playing around with that's been really fun. I took my cold Battlemage, switched him to an Aether Battlemage, because I wanted to play around with the Mindwarp weapon. And the Mindwarp weapon, for those that don't know, is it is built around a Battlemage, because it's +2 to Cadence, which I'm not using, and +1 to all skills and Arcanist. And it has this weird and kind of unique ability, which is 100% chance on crit for a 6-second duration. You get 200% Aether damage, and all of your physical damage is converted to Aether damage. And I found it to be a really intriguing, possibly fun thing to build around. And this is kind of more of like a test build / proof of concept rather than anything super efficient. Because, yeah, it seemed like a really fun, just warrior magey ability to use. And here's what I came up with for the build. Initially, I was using Cadence, but it wasn't doing it for me. It does kind of hit in that like arc in front of it when you have fighting form, and it can deal a lot of physical damage. But you kind of have to try to line up your Cadence hits with Mindwarp proccing, and sometimes it just doesn't work. So what I decided to do is switch over to Blade Arc, which while Blade Arc in and of itself doesn't actually have physical damage, it hits almost all the way around you, and it can hit up to 11 things when you have it maxed out like this, with a point in laceration. So we are essentially, our main attack is us swinging this giant arc that really hits a lot of things. Other abilities we have in the soldier side of the character, I have Warcry at 5, Blitz with Blindside at 1 each, Field Command and Squad Tactics predictably maxed out. Decorated Soldier is also maxed out, and I think the 50% physical damage is applied before Mindwarp's conversion, because if I recall correctly, the order of your conversion, things on items happen dead last. So this physical damage from this ability is counted before that. So I think that physical damage would affect our weapon's physical damage first, and then if Mindwarp or the physical damage converted to Aether damage on the weapon, that happens second in the order of operations for conversion. Regardless, even if that isn't the case, 20% elemental resistance and 20% slow resistance is too good to pass up defense-wise. Military conditioning, maxed out obviously, and a point in veterancy to take advantage of our pants, and bonus constitution and health regen, pretty good to have out of 1 point. On the Arcana side of things, the switches from using Trojan Sky Shards and Star Pact are now basically using Kalidor's Tempest and Reckless Power. So, otherwise, like, Reckless Power is maxed out, Kalidor's Tempest, the first ability is maxed out, and we are using Wrath of Agravex. So we're using this as a very large bomb while we're swinging our weapon. Esconder's Elemental Exchange is maxed out, and we have 1 point in Overload, 1 point in Elemental Balance. And we likewise have Myvan's Sphere Protection is at, I think, 9 or 10, maybe 11, somewhere between 9 and 11. Likewise, Mirror of Aractes, ooh, that might just be one, might be a 1.1er in this case. And Conversion has 1 point. Electra's Flash Freeze with Absolute Zero, also 1 point each. 1 point ticked in the Fabric of Reality, and I'd consider trying maybe to get this maxed out at some point. Maybe pull points from elsewhere to max it out, but I actually don't have the points to spare for it right now. But it is flat Aether damage, and we get 32% out 32% Aether damage out of it. 1 point in Devastation because it's pretty awesome, and you only really need 1 point with this build with it. 1 point Nullification, 1 point Arcane Will, and despite the fact that it got nerfed recently, Inner Focus gets maxed out. Let's just go to Devotion real quick. I'm using Maul with my Blade Arc, because the physical damage is getting converted to Aether damage for us, and we have a chance to stun just normal mobs, and it actually gets a lot of weapon damage as it levels up. So it's a pretty nice little proc to have happen. It's also 15% chance on attack, not on crit. So 15% of our Blade Arcs are going to be dealing this bonus damage, which is pretty sweet. I went and I grabbed the Tip the Scales ability, because it's a nice little added heal, and having it proc is actually kind of fun as well. So 20% of chance when hit, we will basically do this little burst like we do with our ring. It's another just AoE burst of damage, and it also heals us. Otherwise, we have, a standard Yulo has the resistances without learning the ability. Solemn Watcher's filled out. Sailor's Guide and the Eel are filled out. Crane's filled out. Torgo has 3 points for the health. Hawk is filled out for the offensive ability and the crit. Empty Throne is filled out for its resistances. And we get a crap ton of physique off of the 3 points in Autumn Boar. And that's pretty much it. It's, like I said, and we have the Viper now. So the Viper is for the Vitality Resistance and the percent offensive ability. And then we're keeping a point in both of the health-related crossroads. So this is a heavily stat-based loadout. And our abilities we have, it's only these two. Maul on our Blade Arc. And then Myvin's Sphere has Tip the Scales. So weapon is Mindwarp with Wrathstone. We have our 5-piece Iskandra set. The big change is Haunted Steel instead of whatever I had there before, Imbued Silver. We do lose a little of our Chaos Res because of that, but that's fine. Haunted Steel gives us Bloodthirster, which is some Life Leech, which is not bad. And like the Vitality damage is added to our attacks, and it's a tiny amount though. But I mean, this also affects Tip the Scales, plus we get, the Life Leech, which is always good to have. Powered Leg, Reps Valor, Aegis. I love that Aegis procs on attack now instead of on block. Empowered Combat Medic's Mark, still Golemborg and Greaves. The new legendary gloves that we had drop on, oddly enough, the Elementalist earlier today, is Grasp of Unchained Might, which is a Blade Arc related glove. I'm using it mostly for that juicy attack speed. It also adds flat physical damage to our attacks as well, which gets factored into both our physical percent physical damage adjustments and getting converted to Aether. Unchained Fury is a pretty sweet ability as well. Yeah, we lose a tiny bit of defensive ability, but whatever. Still have that Death's Wasteguard or Supremacy that I can't seem to get rid of. Life, like I mentioned the ring before, Life Drinker is sort of a proc similar to Tip the Scales, but it's on crit. And you'll see like these red circles appear on the character, and that's what either of those abilities are. And I think Maul actually uses that animation as well. Mutagetic Sigil replaced our Starfire. +2 to Devastation, +1 to Reckless Power is really awesome. It's also got Physique and all damage, Aether damage, casting speed, which was wasted on us. But it also gives us Aether Res. And I think everything else is pretty much the same from the... Oh, attributes. Do that real quick before I leave. It's all pretty much the same from the previous Battlemage build. Attributes. 2 points in Physique. 1 in Cunning, 1 in Spirit. Repeat as needed. I call this in my head the Warrior Mage loadout, where you do 2-1-1, 2-1-1. We kind of need all three of these. Physique to survive, Cunning to land our melee attacks, and Spirit for our magic attacks. I don't know where to go. Okay, I decided to... Oh, it's right there. I was going to say, I want to explore on the Ashen Waste, look for this thing. Done! Well, we'll explore on the Ashen Waste anyways. I figure it's a good, I'm kind of weak towards chaos, so we'll go here and make it kind of more challenging. So some things happen a little slower with this build than with the cold build. Specifically, really? Like, I immediately find the stone and then immediately find the exit. No effort whatsoever. Some things happen quicker with the cold build. Specifically, killing single targets, I think, felt a little quicker. But this build seems to do much better against groups. Presumably because everything it does is like an AoE directly around it. I don't know why, this build feels tankier, though, than the Trojans one. Maybe he's just taking things out that much faster. Just groups of enemies go out that much faster, so it's like, oh, it feels tankier. Now I will pop Bloodletter against this guy because he's a Harbinger, and Harbingers are annoying. But I mean, we're not doing bad given that we're an ultimate and we're not using a shield and we're ridiculously tanky. So it's like, yeah, I don't mind like hitting the enemy a half dozen more times. Oh, this is gonna be fun. Look in the lower right hand corner or lower left hand corner. Also, we're kind of preserving one of the aspects of battle maging that I that I really wanted to emphasize with this character, which is he's attacking next to casting his spells. Don't be in a group. Don't be in a group. Don't be. Okay, he's on his own. I was just testing to see if I could hit the obsidian stones with with Electras, and I can't. Yeah, as long as we don't get hit by those a lot, I think we'll be fine. As you can see, owie. Bloodthirster does a lot of work. It's basically like a free potion. Okay, I am actually gonna run away here. Not because I'm like afraid of this guy or I'm getting hurt, but because I don't want to be surrounded by those damn Okay, I'm surrounded by those damn things. I don't want to get too surrounded by his obsidian thingamabobs. I think Benjar is the one I've probably fought the most out of any of them in Ultimate. I'm serious. I'm like I can't. I think I maybe no. I did fight Muzalek once and I beat him. I've encountered Fabio and got my ass kicked by him severely, and I believe I've tried to fight the Iron Maiden with this guy. I'd love to say something like, she took my life and I took hers too, but I didn't beat her. Also, I don't have a musket. Or she doesn't have a musket, so that song doesn't work either. So as this fight progresses, he actually does get pretty... He does get pretty strong as you go, but I think I can handle him if I don't freak out. So I think he has like that chaos wave. That's the thing that really deals a big chunk of damage to us. I actually didn't notice that his health was that low. Pop a potion just to make sure he doesn't kill me, and he's done. You know, I'm actually going to end the video right here, because that I think shows off that the build works really well. A Bloodfang oil blueprint. billion blueprints you have in this game, and it gives me goddamn oil. Anyways, thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this alternate Battlemage build. It's really fun, and I do recommend playing around Mindwarp and doing a Calidor's Tempesty Battlemage as well. So, yeah, thanks for watching again, and I'll see you guys next time.